Hello, my friends. I'm back. I'm Nicolette Alger. I'm a financial coach. I'm here to help moms and families get their finances in order and so they can feel more organized and have less chaos and be able to progress towards their goals and be able to help other people, be able to be good stewards of their money. My practice and my coaching is based on Christian principles and based on being stewards of what God has given to us. Everything we have comes from Him. Today we're going to talk about the value of money. What is the value of money? I know that sounds dumb. If I hold up a $1 bill, you'll say that's worth $1, but what does that really mean? Currency can mean different things in different countries, right? Exchange rates change all the time. Inflation is going to change the value of that dollar, even though it's still worth $1, whatever that means, is going to buy you less, next year, 5 years than it is, 5 years from now than it is today. So we think that the value of money is so simple, but really, the only value money gets is what value you give it. Now, this was a concept when I learned. It really opened my mind to the fact that money is more than just the ability to buy things. So the value of money is what we place on it. For example, I'm reading a book. I wish I would have brought it. I would hold up and show you, but it's called Killing Sacred Cows, and it's a myth buster. It busts several myths of what we have about money. And one point in the book was, if I have $20 and you have a book, and I really want the book, and you ask me for $20 for the book, I will give you that $20 if that book is more valuable to me than that $20 is, right? If I don't think the book is worth $20, if the $20 is more valuable to me than the book is, I'm not going to trade you. On your end, if that $20 is more valuable to you than the book, then you're going to make that exchange. However, it's not. You're not going to agree to the exchange. So in my mind, when I bought that book was more valuable to me than having the $20, right? So, and we talked about this in the previous video about tracking our expenses, but we want to make sure that what we're spending our money is in alignment with what we value, in alignment. I'd like to use an example of one client I was working with. She had a huge grocery budget, just huge. She has 3 kids, so there's a family of 5, and she spent probably double or triple what I spend on groceries, which I'm a really good frugal grocery shopper, but she spent a lot of money on groceries, and she said the numbers bothered her, and she kept saying, I know I could cut back on my grocery budget, but I like to buy non-GMO, I like to buy gluten-free, I like to buy organic, I like to buy extremely healthy, fresh, and that costs more. That costs more money. I have she has a couple kids that have special eating requirements and dietary restrictions. And so I said, well, let's take a look at this. This is something you value. You value giving your family this kind of food. You value having your children be healthy. You value supporting local farmers and local marketplaces. This is what you value. I feel like this spending is in alignment with your values. She could afford it. It wasn't, she wasn't having to go into debt for buying this food. And I said, don't decrease your budget. Don't spend less on groceries because you're spending in alignment with your values. That's what is important to you, and that's where your money is going. Now, if I tell you that I value fresh fruit and vegetables and then I go spend all my money on ice cream and candy bars, there's that disconnect, right? Then I would say stop spending your money on candy bars unless that's something that you value. If it's something you value, then who am I to tell you not to spend money on that, right? So when we talk about money, the value of money, it comes down to what we individually value and what we as a family value, because I know that I'm going to value things differently than my next door neighbor. I'm going to value things differently than my brother and his family. I'm going to value the way I spend my time and the way I spend my money. I'm going to do that differently than my best friend. right? And that's when it gets tricky with marriages and couples, because I feel like you bring in values that may be a little bit different, and those values come out when we spend money and when we spend time, right? Those are two great ways to see what someone values, and those are different with different people. So as you create a new family culture around money, it's a good conversation to have with your spouse, with your kids. What do we value? Where do we want our money to go? I use the example of eating out versus going on vacation. Do we value the fun and the convenience of eating out? Or do we value a family vacation more? Should our eating out money go towards a family vacation, or some of it, One thing that we value at our house are experiences. So I've got my kids enrolled in things that they enjoy. One daughter's in gymnastics, one's in dance, another one does piano, and then the fourth one's still little. I don't have to enroll her in anything yet, but we value that. We value them developing their talents. Now, if that's something that, I have a neighbor that says, I just want my kids home. I think that they should be home with their family. And we don't need to do extracurricular activities. We do things as a family, and that's what they value, and that's fantastic. So for her, paying for a monthly gymnastics, class would not be in alignment with her values. At our house, it's something that my daughter is very good at. She has a lot of energy, and she needs to go, and she needs to do that. That's something that just lights up her eyes and makes her happy. And I value her gymnastics class more than the monthly tuition that I give, right? So when we talk about the value of money, it's not concrete, and it can change. It can change with circumstance. We talked about inflation, but it can also change as your family changes and as your knowledge changes. So just keep that in mind when you're talking about money, and as you've tracked your expenses and you're starting to analyze the numbers and the data. I just want you to always keep in your mind, what do I value? What does my spending show that I value? And are those two in alignment? Am I really spending money on things that I value? So I want to leave that thought with you. If you like what I'm offering, if you like the concepts that I have to share, please consider sharing with someone who might need it. My mission is to help moms and families, and consider sharing, consider supporting if you feel the need, and go analyze that tracking that you've done. Go analyze that data and see if your spending is in alignment with your values. We want them to be aligned. We don't want them to be disconnected. Leave me a comment and let me know if you learned anything new, and if you have any thoughts for me on the value of money.